Ladies, gentlemen, sergeants major, and department heads, this fiscal year we've been given a substantial increase in our mission. Simultaneously, the pool of available candidates is shrinking, as more than 70% of American youth ages 17 to 35 are unqualified for military service. And to make matters worse, propensity to join the military within Colorado, Wyoming, and Nebraska is low when compared nationally. Many of these problems exist most strongly in Colorado, where the population is significantly higher than in Nebraska or Wyoming. This market, which carries the lion's share of our organization's mission, has a growing political sentiment unfavorable to military service, extremely low unemployment, which then offers additional barriers like increased competition. Therefore, within our vast geographical area of 225,000 square miles, are minuscule 40 recruiting centers that are strategically placed throughout our area of operations, and the soldiers assigned there must work harder and cover even more ground. This makes marketing efforts essential, as only through marketing can we possibly reach our entire market. Luckily, we have a strong, recognizable brand with unparalleled benefits. But we have to ask ourselves, how is it, with the amazing job opportunities, surprisingly competitive pay, and top-notch benefits like the GI Bill that literally pays you an additional $2,100 a month here in Denver after paying in full all tuition fees and books for almost any university imaginable? How is it people aren't lining up at the doors? So obviously there is a bottleneck somewhere, something holding us back. Well, our target demographic isn't exactly worried about benefits as much as they're worried about having a quote-unquote attractive lifestyle. Youth are literally afraid of the Army because their main source of information is from television, as our military communities surround a limited number of installations and as our veteran population declines rapidly. Luckily, despite these limitations and misinformation, there are a number of opportunities here in Colorado, like House Bill 17-1041, which mandates counselors at least to inform students about military service and the benefits. This creates a demand for information which we can provide through offerings that are both relevant to influencers and to our target demographic. In light of this information, I believe we should target 3 groups based on potential for market growth. This is why I propose we focus on STEM career fields, that's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, Hispanics, which are a demographic rapidly expanding here in America, and females, which currently represent 51% of America, but only 14% of the Army. Here you can see our SMART goals, which we will further flesh out later in the presentation. Our goal is to expand by the end of FY18 lead generation by 50%, contracts attributed to marketing efforts by 10%, 5% increase in Hispanic attainment, and 3% increase in female attainment. We will be tracking these goals throughout the entire process as we convert leads into contracts. These main KPIs will be leads, contracts, and finally engagement, as social media represents a large part of the overall marketing plan. Now let's talk messaging. Messaging and campaigns directed towards females need to avoid showing females in harm or danger, and instead show the alternative aspects of military life that may seem more enjoyable. The main reason behind this is that the Department of Defense market research shows that the main friction point between them joining is being away from family and friends, and then also being in harm and danger. Now, looking at the Hispanic market, the Army has many benefits that could appeal to a demographic which currently has a strong sense of community, respect for authority, and a need for financial security and education. For this demographic, it makes sense to sell them on the signing bonuses and the strong sense of community which exists in the military. Lastly is the STEM market. People know the military offers riflemen, pilots, and tank operators. What they don't know is that we have things like chemical engineers, photographers, cyber operations specialists, divers, medical technicians, and more. So I believe we need to stop showing people what they expect, like guys jumping out of boats with guns, and start showing them the bright young men and women who are supporting those heroes, as there are 7 support soldiers for every 1 combat soldier. Now, within the market, there are several main competitive forces. The Air Force is the main competitor for those seeking lifestyle benefits, and the Marine Corps is the main competitor for those joining due to intangibles such as pride of self-belonging or service to country. Therefore, in order to compete with both these very different organizations, our messages and imagery must provide consumers with both lifestyle offerings, showing soldiers enjoying their lives while selflessly serving their country. Now, going back to our previous slide, you can see that we have several large initiatives that specifically target one of our primary demographics. Together, these events, partnerships, and campaigns represent the entire marketing budget of $200,000 minus $30,000, which will be used for boosting and ads on social media. As discussed earlier, there will be three main key performance indicators which support our goals: customer acquisition, engagement, and cost per lead. Together, these will allow us to determine how well our social media operations are working, if our events and initiatives are producing leads, and whether or not those leads are being converted by recruiters. These KPIs will be measured frequently dependent on the KPI and situation. All 40 recruiting centers have been integrated into the evaluation process, as they all provide after actions on all events conducted and social media analytic reports each month. This helps ensure constant accountability and return on investment, as we are held accountable to America by the taxpayers for our failures. Ladies and gentlemen, sergeants major, department heads, I hope my presentation resonated with you and that you all will provide me with the approval to move forward with this plan of action.